we were just talking before we started here, the new Tyler Childers video, which I'm catching a lot of flack on social media because people don't pay attention. I don't know if you've been in this game for a minute doing this thing. You've built a big social media following. You put your commentary. It's amazing to me that people will read the caption you post without watching the video and then without any intelligence of what you said. They just go in and start commenting.
Yep.
You get that a lot?
Yep.
Yeah.
On that caption, I actually I had to go Jurassic because it explains why he's petrified, which was a terrible pun. But yeah.
Yeah, that 22-second stare down right there. Did they ever figure out what happened to Mitch?
They just said he was okay. So I figure if he's okay, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, he fell a couple of months ago and hit his head. And I'm convinced they keep these guys around. I think they keep people like Chuck Grassley and Dianne Feinstein and these. I mean, there's old and then there's old. Yeah. Like the Babylon Bee said, and I totally stole their joke to use on stage, where they said, we're trying to, when you're trying to decide if you want to put Grandpa in hospice or the Senate, that's what we're dealing with.
I actually think they're the best writers in the game.
Oh, they're incredible. Bee. Yeah, they'll be on the show in a couple of weeks. They got a new book coming out called Babylon Bee's Guide to Gender. They sent me an advance digital copy because they wanted me to write an endorsement for the new book, which I was honored to do. And I thought my endorsement was pretty genius, but because I transitioned to a they-them as I'm writing the thing. And so they'll be on the show in a couple of weeks, but they are.
Yeah, I think because that short of a line makes me laugh and giggle for a super long time.
Yeah,
so if you can do it so briefly, it's great. You
jumped into this social media thing. We talked about this a few weeks ago. You were on Skype, though, so I'm glad you're in studio because now we get to hang out. And for those of you watching, many of you who are Blaze TV fans, you've already watched us in the episode before on the News of Why It Matters with Sarah Gonzalez. So now we get to just chill and hang out. How'd you get started in this whole thing? Just running your mouth, and people ask me all the time, like, how'd you get started with this?
Right. I went to school for computer science for one, and then so logic was included in that. You have to take logic because it relates. And so arguments have always come natural to me. And I got sick of it. I got sick of hearing bad arguments. I got sick of people explaining why things were stupid, but not, they would just say things were stupid, but they wouldn't explain why it was stupid. Yeah. It's like, you agree that it's stupid? Yeah, I agree it's stupid, but tell me why. Break down why this is bad and how it doesn't make sense. And so I started doing that in increments, and I've always liked comedy too, so I kind of blend the two, and I took off. It helped. Yep.
It's good stuff. I like your content. I found your content months and months ago, and I was like, all right, listen, because stuff would just pop up. And why yours popped up on mine, I don't know, but I liked it. And I was like, then I started looking for it.
Right.
And I was like, I like this content. Then you and I connected, and I was like, this is solid stuff.
Well, it's that sternness with a little bit of smirk.
Yeah.
And so we relate in that regard. We're also both extremely professional.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's
100%.
That's sarcasm.
Talking about sarcasm, though, back to that Tyler Childers video. And you haven't seen that video, right?
I have not.
There's no need to see the video. The song is fantastic. The song is great, which Tyler Childers is an incredible songwriter. But he makes a video that is about two gay coal miners in 1950s Appalachia. Right?
That old story?
Yeah. I mean,
do you call
two
that
gay guys digging in a dark hole,
Right.
Chad, it's the sequel to Brokeback Mountain, but it's Brokeback Mining.
Brokeback Mining.
Yeah.
And so I made a satire video where I said, kudos to Tyler Childers for making a video that really pushes the coal industry, and also the lengths we've taken to get, professional, personal protection in that industry, because one of the guys gets black lung, and who knew that getting black lung, one of the side effects was, you want to kiss other men.
I did.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And that's what I'm blaming my gay stuff on, is the black lung. So I have people who are mad at me because they're like, my father was a coal miner, and it's like, take it easy, Karen.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people in Congress heard there was a music video about sex with minors, but they took they took the wrong. They all tuned in, but
that right there, they totally. That's why the thing went viral.
Yeah, it went viral. They were like, oh, that's in my alley.
That's a great bit too, because everybody's saying, oh, this is the pushback against Jason Aldean. No, listen. When Tyler Childers made this video, I promise you, he had no clue what Jason Aldean's video was going to be. It takes a long time.
Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into putting out a multi-million-dollar production. And so they said, oh, see, release that. This is a pushback against Jason Aldean. It's like, that's the dumbest logic. And so many people on Twitter kept saying, oh, I can't wait to see your reaction to the, and I was like, no, they had to make that video in the night about the 1950s because the reaction and the persecution they got, maybe it would have happened in the 1950s, but people in 21st century America really don't give a shit.
We don't care. We make funny jokes that don't mean anything about it. We're not poking fun at it. We're just having fun with it.
We don't, okay, so two dudes hooked up. Okay, we've seen it. You've pushed it. I mean, like you brought up, we were talking before, the show Schitt's Creek. Like, we've seen it.
We've seen it.
Brokeback Mountain, we've seen it. I mean, I saw Brokeback Mountain. I was bored one day and
I watched it twice today.
I need a refresher course.
Right.
Which, by the way, was a good movie in terms of, what it was. And people are like, oh, my God, it's gay. Well, I mean, you watch movies about murder and violence and sex and all kind of...
Will and Grace was on forever, and it was like the #1 show for... No one cares.
No one cared. No one cared. So I get it. I mean, but, people are pushing back because, oh, there's gratuitous. And it's like, look, you guys are picking your sins. I get it. I'm not defending the thing. I understand the messaging, but people these days in 21st century America, I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal or whatever, it's like, whatever. The pushback against the Jason Aldean thing was stupid.
Yeah, it didn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
They ended up being racist, saying it was about black people when he just didn't want crime in his small town.
Right.
You speculating is what was the racism.
Yeah, if you hear that song, read those lyrics, you think of a black person.
Right. You're the racist. Yeah, it's obvious.
And so many people were like, I don't think you people even watched the Jason Aldean video because 99% of the clips are white people.
Yeah, they're white. Yeah.
So
was Antifa.
Yeah. So they were Antifa riots. They weren't even really BLM riots. Right. And by the way, most of the BLM rallies that I saw, I was at one in Tulsa. I was there. I didn't go to the thing, but it came through while we were there, the little parade, and it was like 500 people. There was literally only one black person in the entire crowd, and he wasn't even full black. So,
yep.
I mean, BLM was nothing but white guilt.
It was white guilt, and it was Marxist. It was just Marxist agenda.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to separate it. Well, I'm not talking about the organization. And you remember when it all went through. It was black squares on everybody's page. I'm an ally, a black square. You're not going to fix racism by posting a black square.
Right.
Let me explain why. What's your least favorite food? What's something you can't stand?
Brussels sprouts.
Okay. If everybody posted pictures of Brussels sprouts, you're just going to hate them more.
I'm just going to hate them more. Because now you're throwing it in my face.
Right. So if you're a racist and you're just throwing up black squares all the time, I'm just going to make it hate it more.
Yeah.
It doesn't fix it. It makes it worse.
Yeah. And that's what we mean when we say you're cramming things down people's throats.
You don't have to.
Yeah. When you keep putting the pride flag out there, or you put some gratuitous sex scene out there, or you're putting transgenders story hour in front of kids and all this crap, after a while, when you keep pushing it, it's like, you're kind of making us a little more outspoken about the fact that we don't like it.
You're right. I remember I used to watch cartoons when I was a kid like everybody else, but do you remember the Pine Sol lady? She would come on.
Yeah.
It was a commercial that came on every day. I ended up hating that Pine Sol lady for no reason. It just was thrown in my face all the time.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at a kid and there's a big red button over there on the table or whatever, and you tell that kid, don't push that button. Don't push that button. Don't push that. That kid's going to go push that button. Like, you keep throwing it on there, and it's putting it in their face. They're going to react somehow. And it ain't going to be by just ignoring it.
No.
So
people rebel naturally.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's the whole thing. I don't care. I can choose to listen to a Tyler Childers song and actually like the song, but I get it. I mean, dude, you made a bold move of alienating 50% of your base out there as a country music guy.
He picked something that's so rare in the 50s anyway. It wasn't something that was going on all the time. It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah.
Like, literally, who cares?
So they depict these two guys, and they're making out in the woods, right? And I mean, I'm watching the video, and it's a tearjerker video, right? I mean, it's like, okay, here's a love story. One of the guys eventually dies, and it's a sad deal. And they see him making out in the woods, and they're all covered in coal soot, and I mean, they're really going at it. And I'm like, my problem with this image is they're sucking coal soot off it. No wonder he got black lung.
Yeah. Black lung, black tongue.
I mean, you're licking the coal off the guy's face.
Yeah.
And I mean, and no one had a problem with the fact that they were in blackface.
Yeah, no one had a problem.
No.
It's acceptable.
It pushes the coal industry.
No.
And there's blackface.
Yeah. It's acceptable in that? I don't think so.
Exactly.
I'm boycotting it. That's the racist video.
That's racist.
It wasn't Jason Aldean.
No.
It's Tyler Childers.
Tyler Childers had more black people, fake black people in his video than Jason Aldean did.
Right. So
I'm watching this thing, and then the next scene is one of the guys getting beat up by some of the other coal miners for being gay or whatever. In all seriousness, right now, if I saw that happening, I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, fat, skinny, male, female, identify yourselves he, him, she, her, they, them, she's, your. I don't give a shit. I'll defend you.
Me too.
I'll come break the fight up.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to let you get the shit. Now, in 1950s America, Appalachian America, you might have seen some of that.
Yeah.
Unlike Joe Biden, who said, I saw two guys kissing when I was a kid. My dad said, you just love who you love.
Yeah.
Bullshit, Joe.
Yeah. He knows. He remembers well. He's got an impeccable memory.
He remembers everything.
Yeah. He's
got a story, got an antidote for it all. And he's been everywhere. He's done everything. He's basically every nationality. He's Polish, he's Jewish, he's Puerto Rican.
He's went to every college.
He's black. All of them.
He graduated from all of them.
Top of his class. Top of his class every time. Yeah. And he was a professor.